Now let's break down the trade. First thing you do when you come to the chart is you come to the daily time frame and see what daily time frame is doing. So as you can see, this buy move started from here, and of course, this was supposed to be the target or a point of reaction. But yesterday's price action closed. Yesterday price action closed above with full momentum, and at the same time reacting from where? From this key level, right? So which means that we are bullish, which makes it bullish, right? And this becomes our next target potentially, right? But before that, this becomes our first target. So this on its own becomes a draw on liquidity, right? And this becomes another draw on liquidity. So if price comes, breaks this, then this will be the next level we're looking out for. So the next thing that you want to do is you come to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we want to identify what price is doing. But first, we need to know where is price reacting from. It's reacting from this, which was on the Thursday, and this was the zone it reacted from. And as you can see right here, we had our break. This was actually the break, okay? This was actually the break, and as you can see, immediately the break happened, price used this zone. Now, of course, on this broker, price didn't tap here. But probably when you check other broker, it would. However, there is another uh, gap break here. So this is a multiple gap break. This gap was broken to the downside and it failed. So it makes this zone a stronger level. All right. So why we taking this trade? So this is actually a continuation setup. As you can see, we have already built a narrative, right? We've built a narrative. So the next thing we want to look out for, where would price or what would push price to this our liquidity level? Right, that's the question. What will push price to this liquidity level? So this is where we need to come or understand the candle dynamics and key levels, how they work effectively. So on the 4-hour time frame, which we see right here, there's a 4-hour time frame. And what are we going to check? We're going to check if this zone is going to be a valid buy zone. So to do that, we will need to go to the 2-hour time frames. So as you can see, the 2-hour time frame will also have a fresh level, and at the same time, we also had what a liquidity level here. So this liquidity have been, swept, right? That liquidity have been swept. So price tapped us in and began to move. Now, that's not all. If we come to the 30-minute time frame, you notice this was the first tap. So this tap is what we call the double confirmation. All right, this is what we call the double confirmation. So for those of you who love to enter, right, let me just say this. Those of you who love to enter, I think you can enter. Yeah, you can enter here. So this is another entry. You can enter here. Yep, you can enter here. Let your stops be a little bit below. All right, you can give it, you can put a stop here, but let's say let your stop be around the zone. All right. Now, if you are risking, you have to risk little, okay? Because you have to very important risk little because I already explained where price is coming from. But potentially we're expecting price to come to this zone. I already explained why, and this is the first zone we're expecting price because this is the highest point so far, highest swing point. So we want price to come to that level. So if we enter another entry here, we can take our profit here or partials or as the case may be, or break even, and you target the zone overall, right? So basically, this was exactly okay. I didn't finish my explanation. So this is what we call a double confirmation. And whenever we see this double confirmation, most likely price will come and also mitigate that initial zone, especially on gold, before price will push to the upside. That's exactly what happened here. Now, why are we looking for, or why did I say we can enter a continuation setup here? Quite easy, quite simple, right? And one of the reason is simply because we had, take note of this. This was a what? A classic level, right? Classic level, we're expecting sales, and price sold off from it. And when price sold off from it, price met its target here. Look at it here, right? I hope you are following. Is everyone following? I want to believe you are following, right? Price met a target here, and what happened? Broke this structure. So this zone now failed, making this zone a strong level. So it was the same thing I showed us on this particular chart. It was the same thing I showed us here. It was the same thing I showed us here. I know this can be very confusing. This is why it's important that you have the right knowledge. Having the right knowledge will put you ahead, right? Where is it? Was it on this time frame? Okay, it's the same thing that happened here. For example, we had this field. So this what some people call um OBS, all right, resistance and support. All right, but I don't like calling it that way, but that's exactly how people call it. So it's very important that you understand these dynamics in the market. Do you understand? So, for example, on this particular setup, personally, I don't want price to come and take this low. If price comes here, it might not be high probability again. So if I want to be aggressive, of which I'm always aggressive in my trading, right? My stop loss will have to be in this area, all right? This area right there. That's where my stop loss will have to be. Okay. So basically, this exactly now these zones on this time frame, there's nothing that should hold price except for this zone. So if price comes here, we might see a little bit of reaction here, or price can blast through it. If price blast through it, fine, it's even better off, right? So it's important that we put all of this into consideration, right? Of course, if price come and mitigate that zone, uh just have to understand what you are doing and you'll be good. Okay. So far, based on this initial entry, I actually sent this to the students in the Comment Paper Academy. Right. And I explained something to them, which I'm explaining to you now. I explained something to them about this particular candle, why this candle was important. So, sometimes some of us we say, oh, price have tapped us and have left us. No, sometimes it is not true. Sometimes price is just trying to, take out the early buyers. Because some people will just buy and immediately place their break even, right? And that's not exactly how to trade. That's not the best way to trade. The best way to trade, you know exactly what you are looking for. You know where you want price to get to before you do anything. That's the best way to take your entries and to take your trades, right? So it is very important that we understand all of these dynamics. And when we understand all of these dynamics, what will happen is that our profit targets will be easy, like we'll be more confident to hold our setups. We're more confident because if you are not confident, I tell you, you're not going to make money from the market. All right. So I want to know if you have any question regarding this. Do you have a question? I'm waiting, guys. Any question? Let me check the chats. There's nothing there. Well, that would be pretty much it. Okay, someone is asking about BTC. Hmm. Well, I really don't want to analyze, but if that's what you want, let's check BTC. Let's check BTC. Okay. So first thing first is we need to come to the daily time frame. All right. Need to come to the daily time frame. Yes, this is strictly MSNR, sir. It's MSNR, sir. Now, of course, there are, I have some experience in the market. I have over 6 years experience. So also add a little bit of what I know, even my own personal strategy, but it is strictly MSNR based on what I'm teaching you. All right. So this is BTC. Let's do this and we'll call it a day. So we have to be fast. So first, you need to know where is price coming from. So you need to understand the most recent price action. So definitely, this becomes the most recent price action, and this is where price is coming from. All right. So we need to check if there is already a level on the 4 hours. You can see we have a change in state of delivery. And that's what I call the CISD, right? So basically, we have this is a daily level. So we have daily, reject daily. So let me type it here for you. All right. Please help me with your mic. Mute, please. Mute. Daily, reject daily. All right. So this is daily, reject daily right here. So definitely we need to expect a 4 hour breakout, and this is the 4 hour breakout. So now that we have our 4 hour breakout, we need to understand where we need to look for our setups. So we have a QM level here. This is a QM level here. And we have, of course, we have a level here. And we also have level here. However, this level have been used. This particular level have been used. So this setup might be low probability if price comes here. However, if price come to this zone, we need to look for confirmations. Very important. Look for confirmations before you take your setup. Otherwise, if you don't see your confirmation and price breaks this level, then we should expect a little bit of continuation to the upside. Now, you might quickly ask, how about this zone? How about this level? How about this level? You might want to ask that question, right? I know someone is asking the question. So this is very important that you ask. So there are two things you can do. Now, this is a level, this is what QM level, and this is a classic level. Now, remember, we also had a classic level here that have been used already. So we are now left with these two zones and plus this one, but this one you need a very good confirmation to take your sell here. So if I am to choose between this zone or this zone, which one? If I'm to choose between these three zones, which one is my highest probability zone? This one here is my highest probability zone. This middle one.
Right.
This middle one is my highest probability zone. This zone is, sorry about the noise. Please mute yourself once you come in. Right. So this is our highest probability zone. The reason is simply because this zone have been used already. This would have been our highest, but it has been used already. And this zone has what I call this these have been used, these have not been used. So this is also fresh. This is fresh. So basically, what I will say is this: if price comes here, if price comes here, right? If price comes here, look for confirmation around this level. So you want to take your setups between within these zones. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to take your setup between these zones. I hope it's clear. So for BTC, I am bearish. I'm bearish for BTC. uh, based on what we just analyzed together right now. I hope that's clear. Is that clear enough? So I already explained what you need to look. All right, so are there more questions? If they have questions, okay, GPUSD, GPUSD, let's see. Was that GPUSD I saw? Yes. Okay. So let's check it. Now, first thing first, we come to the oops. See where price is coming from. Price is coming from here. I guess you need to wait for the setup to be rightly formed. Okay, so we have a good zone here. We actually have a good sell level here. You can sell from here directly, but you need to wait for a form of liquidity to be taken before you take that setup. So, well, GPUSD is very nice. Overall, is very nice. So these zones are high probability zones. So look for your entries around this zone, and you'll be okay. Okay. So you wait patiently. I don't know. You have to. You have to. Well, I hope I was able to answer your questions. So you wait patiently. It's a matter of waiting. So for our gold, well, this is about 1 to 7 risk to reward ratio, which is cool. That's from initial entry anyway. For this one, probably you just have to wait for price to do its thing. All right. Don't uh, don't be too emotional about it. So basically, I explained, okay, you see where price is reacting from, where I said price will likely react from earlier, right? So we are seeing the reaction from there already. So that's a lower time frame reaction, okay, 1 hour time frame reaction right there. So basically, if we don't see a break of structure, then the buy should continue. Mm. If we don't see a break of structure, then the buys should continue. Okay, the buy should continue. But overall, on the higher time frame, I already showed us why we're targeting that high, right? And now you know the reason behind the setup, isn't it? Mhm. So I hope it's clear. All right, so thank you so much for joining. So that was a very quick one. I hope you got some value. I just hope so. So thank you so much.